Phones are demonic. They are so demonic. And it's
So I think everybody would agree with this, right? Yeah, we would. All of us would agree with this. And then the next thing people would all think is we should all just put down our phones. We should demand that social media be, you know, done away with. No, that's not the answer. It's not. And I'm not saying it's toxic, but see, Jesus calls you to duty. Your duty is to put the armor of him on and get in there and be the light. It's all through the Bible. There's no getting around it. You can say, let's all Christians put down your phones and then we live this happy little lie, but that's still going on, this darkness. So then you're turning your back on the service and duty you have to God. Now I know not everybody is, you know, wants to do videos. I get all that. That's a personal thing between you and God. I just know God, this is why God got my attention. So there's no doubt social media is toxic, okay? But before that, the internet was toxic. Before that, TV is toxic. Before that, the radio at one point became toxic, I'm sure. So this is the prince of the power of the air. It's talked about in the Bible. The prince of the power of the air is the prince of darkness. The power of the air is the way it comes through. Your radio, your frequency, that's the way it reaches many people. So the positive thing, even though there's not a lot of positive with social media, the one positive thing and the reason why God is utilizing it to his advantage at this time is that with social media, he can call all of his children to duty to be the light and to counteract it, because the darkness cannot overcome the light. So even though to everybody it would be like, oh, we need to get off our phones, because everybody's starting to talk like this now. And I get it. I totally get it. But there's a battle here, and you can't just put your phone down. And I'm not saying you should never take a break or anything. I'm just saying that if you're a Christian, to think that way means you likely don't know the Holy Spirit, okay? Because it's very clear in the Bible that God calls his children to duty. This is the time. When we were just having, 24-hour news cycle, you couldn't do that then. You couldn't just do your video on TV, or we didn't have that technology yet. When it was radio, it was only whatever they were telling us. The same with when it was just TV. When we just had internet, that was just us being able to research or look at things, okay? But never be an actual light in the world to overcome that darkness. You see what I'm saying? But social media, that's the one, because God always brings everything together at the end. That's the one positive. And that's a big positive, because God is going to utilize it to throw so much light on the darkness. And since it can't overcome it, it eventually loses. So I agree, the phones are demonic. I mean, just Verizon, T-Mobile, they're all part of the same, they're all controlled by that prince of the power of the air. The biggest thing that I see a ton of Christian channels, I see a ton on every social media, okay? And likely people that have good intentions, but when I see that they have hundreds and thousands of followers and thousands of likes, I'm like, See, I've said in many videos, even though people won't see it really, maybe one or two people see my videos a day, that's it. That's it. One or two people, that's it. But that's okay. It's a force of light out there against all the darkness. So, but that darkness, the one thing I've learned in the past 5 years is God said, all those things that where you thought it was just you were having bad luck all the time, no, it was done purposely. When you truly have the Holy Spirit fire of God in you, all that darkness knows it, and he'll do everything he can to throw obstacles in your way. He will. He won't physically hurt you, not unless you're just not even asking God to protect you and just running off on your own. Then he'll. But which can happen, like that's. you have this. That's why the past 5 years, God's like, I need you to stay right with me. I need you to speak up. I mean, he's basically calling me to service, calling me to duty. Put the armor of him on and get out there. I need you to be a light on social media. Before, I didn't get back on, I went on Facebook 15 years ago and was on it for maybe a year or 2 years at the most. And every time I went on it, it's like, I don't like how I feel. I just don't like it. And so I deleted my account. And of course, I never got any of my videos or pictures or any of that back, because it's not like Mark Zuckerberg's a selfless person. I mean, the prince of the power of the air controls him. So, but anyway, then I tried to go back on it, I would say a year or 2 years later, just to see if anything had changed. And like 10 days later, I deleted it. And I won't ever go back on it again. I just won't. So I've pretty much up until like 2019, I stayed off of social media. So it's really only been 6 years. I know a lot of other people have been on, like Twitter for... No, I don't even think I got a Twitter account until was maybe in Trump's first term. And then I think I started doing videos like on Snapchat, and then I was doing videos on YouTube. Even though TikTok came out in Trump's first term in like 2017 or 18, I didn't go on it until I think 2022. So I've been real cautious about, like, I'm not on Instagram, and I have an X account, I have a Truth Social account, I have a YouTube channel, I have a Rumble channel and TikTok. So so I understand what she's saying. It can be toxic for sure. However, God is utilizing it right now. So for people, like, I noticed some of the media going this way. The government, because too much of the government anyway, doesn't know it. It's controlled by that energy, that prince of the power of the air. It would love to shut down social media, because then it stops the light. Because you can't just go and get on TV. So try to look at it, even though she's absolutely right. The phones are demonic. It's not even that it's right now, God is letting the prince of the power of the air do it this way. So we have an obligation that if he calls you to step up to service, you need to do your duty. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. If every Christian just decided we're not going to use our phones and social medias, and that will make God happy, no, that won't make him happy. Because he's using it as a battlefield to combat the darkness. The way he always combats the wickedness is using his children. So, and this is there's a couple places in the Bible about the prince of the power of the air. Every time I see it, it is the airways, the frequencies, the vibration, all the things, the way it comes into your media, since the radio. And you were dead in the trespasses and sin in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience. And there's a couple other places. God outright says the prince of the power of the air is the prince of darkness. He controls this world. God allows him to control it right now. He is controlling social media. So it is very toxic. I hear of the horrible things being done. That said, we have to be the opposite of that. We have to be the light. This is the battlefield we're given, and at some point, God will take the power away from him, the prince of the power of darkness, and it will then, that pendulum, so to speak, will be swing back the other way, and there'll be this mass amount of light that people didn't even know was all over social media. Because I think there's many people probably out there, maybe, I don't know how many, but that are like me, that truly have the holy fire of God in them. And that is what that enemy we're the people he suppresses the most. And just think, it doesn't even have to be a lot of people with that fire. You open up the airwaves when God takes control, and there's just going to be a massive amount of light. So we have to be the counterbalance until God steps in and says, I'm taking the field back.